Hello friends, Superintendent Bruce here from the Southern Michigan Conference. In the past 5 weeks I've been able to share an overview about the proposal to form the 3 current Michigan conferences into a single conference later on this year. In about a month now, our Tricon gathering will be held at the Arbor Church on June 20 and 21st, and delegates from all 3 conferences will be voting on this proposal. While many of you were able to participate in one of the town hall meetings which were held in the month of March, I felt it was a good idea to continue to share and cast vision regarding the greater good we could accomplish together should we vote to take this step. In weeks 1 and 2, we covered the timeline which led us to this discussion, as well as some of the data which reveals the significant decline we've witnessed here in Michigan over the past several decades. In week 3, we raised and attempted to answer 2 questions. What is an annual conference, and what is an annual conference for? In weeks 4 and 5, we covered the 4 primary considerations to come together to form a new statewide conference. But today I want to talk in more detail about the structure that we envision that would serve this new conference entity. Specifically today, I wish to share about the Board of Administration and the executive team of a new conference. But first, the Board of Administration. As the new Board of Administration is formed, it would consist of equal representation between ministers and lay leaders from each of the 3 existing conferences. The primary duties of a Board of Administration is to act as a governance board. They oversee the legal and financial matters to protect the integrity of the mission of the church. BOAs are not operational boards. That's the superintendent team's responsibility. In addition to a BOA, the other significant element of the new conference pertains to the superintendent team. We envision that the superintendent team would consist of 4 full-time roles. There would be a lead superintendent and 3 directors. One will lead multiplication efforts, another pastoral development, and the third would serve as the director of operations. The lead superintendent, however, would possess apostolic gifting. Now, when we use the phrase apostolic gifting, what comes to mind is the ministry of the Apostle Paul. Paul was the leader that God used to raise and deploy empowered teams to take new gospel ground across the empire. In fact, Paul recruited, developed, and deployed many leaders, sending them throughout the empire. Names like Timothy and Titus, or Aquila and Priscilla, well, they're just some of the most well-known and most significant teammates in Paul's inner circle. These leaders were given significant responsibility to oversee geographic regions where churches had been established. In Titus chapter 1, verse 5, Paul wrote, "The reason I left you in Crete was so that you might put in order what was left unfinished and appoint elders in every town as I directed you." In his letter to Timothy chapter 1, verse 3, he wrote, "As I urged you when I went into Macedonia, stay there in Ephesus, so that you may commend certain people not to teach false doctrines any longer." Now, in a similar way, the lead superintendent would lead their team to fulfill the vision and mission of the Free Methodist Church within the context of this new conference. They would work collaboratively with their team of directors to exercise oversight in the areas of vision alignment, implementation, leadership development, maintaining order, and championing multiplication. The lead superintendent would chair the conference appointments committee and work alongside of the regional leaders, providing oversight, equipping, and supporting them in their various teams. The director of multiplication is a different person. In addition to an apostolically gifted superintendent, the executive team would also be comprised by a director of multiplication. This person would implement and oversee the conference vision for multiplication. They would oversee recruiting, assessment, training, coaching, and administrative and care systems for our church planners. They will work with the lead superintendent and the other members of the executive team to identify new church planning targets throughout the state and develop and implement plans for new works in new areas to reach diverse population groups. Additionally, the Director for Multiplication will identify multiplication champions in each geographic region to partner with existing churches to develop a vision and plan to birth new works to reach new people groups. The Director of Leadership Development will lead the conference-wide MEG Board and oversee all regional MEG boards throughout the conference. This leader will ensure and maintain a robust leadership pipeline and provide a coaching system to support all of our CMCs and our elders. Additionally, the Director of Leadership Development will plan and facilitate conference training events and specialized pastoral training cohorts. They would also provide consulting for church leadership teams. And finally, there's the Director of Operations, who would round out this team by providing oversight to facilities, finances, administration, human resource, and legal work on behalf of the conference. This central team of superintendent and directors, along with the operations director, will serve as the executive team for the conference. The administrative support team will also be included. As is true of any conference, there will always be administrative support personnel that provide support for the team, including the operations director and the other directors. Admins will be responsible for communications, keeping and updating files, event planning, and support. The central superintendent team serves as the hub of the newly formed conference, and they come alongside of the various regional leaders with the resources they need to advance the mission of the church in their areas. Next week, I'll share a bit more about this critical part of the new conference.